what is this monstrosity here? Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Tuesday tip, where in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I packed up my Odyssey Hawk's Nest, formerly Hawk's Nest bag. It's got a different name now. I'm going to show you a couple tips that I used along the way here that I feel will make you feel better about flying with your bike, because we all know the travesties that can happen with flying with our bikes, even aside from the bags getting lost. So first of all here, the obvious, but maybe not super obvious, is that I've got pool noodles all over my bike right now. So we've got two different size pool noodles here. The yellow one is a larger size with a larger diameter in the inside, and the pink or red is a smaller one with a smaller diameter. And as you can see here, we've got a different pool noodles in different areas. So we've got the bigger pool noodle here on the top tube of the frame, as well as the bottom tube of the frame. And I feel like I needed this to give the most safety in these areas of the bike. I also put the big pool noodle on this side of the fork, because this is the side facing up with the bag that could end up upside down, as well as on this end of the handlebar. This one was kind of just extra, so I threw it on there, and it's in the end of the bike bag. I feel like it would just give you more safety and security there. So when it comes to the smaller pool noodle, first of all, I've got a piece on my crank arm that's on the bottom, because that is the bottom side of the bike that's on the bottom of the bike bag against the ground, wherever it's at. And we've got one on the seat stay tubing, which you can see in there. And I didn't want to do everything over again for this video, so I'm showing the B-roll from the live stream of actually packing this thing up. I think you guys can kind of get the hint here. You're smart people. I think you can understand it. So then we also have the smaller pool noodle on the outside crank arm. This one is not cut. I just forced it onto there. We've also got it on the opposite side of the forks facing down, just because it's not super necessary right there. It's just more for protection against hitting the frame itself, because it's against the tire pretty much right there. Then we've got some on both sides of the handlebars. And we've also got one thing that can kind of save you a little bit of a mess, and that is an old tube sock with my headset on the inside of it. So we don't have to worry about where the headset's at and what it's getting dirty. With that, now we get to the part of how I actually packed the bike in here to make it fit in this bag. So first of all, we took the fork off of the frame, we took the pedals off of the cranks, and we took the seat and seat post out of the frame. I also took off any pegs that I would have on there, so you're going to want to do that as well. And that leaves you with the back wheel, the cranks, sprocket, and the frame itself. You can leave any braking stuff that you have on there on, and that goes into the bike bag first. You can see how that would go in there first. I let the air pressure out this time because I don't have to worry about filling it back up. You don't have to, but man, everything fits so much better when you let the air pressure out. Then from there, I figured out squeezing the seat and seat post in there between the chain and the seat stay of the frame. Here, it's nice and solid. It's not going anywhere. We hope that is the idea here. Security is key. We don't want our bike to be broken when we get it back. Then from there, I put the fork on top with the wheel still on it. Again, letting the air out of the tube to make everything fit better. And we're not doing these clamps until the very end. But at this point, you're just gonna have to like maneuver things around a little bit and get them seated. And if you already have the pool noodles on there when you do this, you're gonna feel very safe about how you're doing it, because you're gonna feel how solid everything is and how there's a barrier between everything on the bike. So at this point, you put all the pool noodles on first before you do anything. You get the fork and front tire in there over top of the seat and seat post. And then the last thing to put in here is the handlebars. And the handlebars just kind of sit on top of the frame. And as you can see here, there's pool noodle against pool noodle on both sides, as well as up in here. I used some extra cushioning on the head tube of the bike here because there's a lot of open space, and I may end up putting my helmet in there. But everything fits in here super well, and it only took me like 20 minutes-ish to cut all of the pool noodles and a hacksaw. Shout out to Park Tool Hacksaw here. But a hacksaw actually did this so fast and easy. It literally cut through the pool noodles like butter. So I think even if you just have like some kind of sharp knife, you'll be fine with it. But yeah, only took me like 20 minutes to do this. Get yourself some pool noodles if you have a local pool store or whatever. It only cost me $12 to feel very secured in how my bike is in this bike bag. And from here, all we have to do is put the pads in here. I might throw a couple tools in here. And then you got to weigh it to make sure that it's underweight, because airlines will make you pay more if your bag weighs more. And the other tip that I have for you guys here actually comes to whenever you get to the airport and everything. Don't tell them what's in your bag. Don't even say anything about what's in your bag. A lot of people will say, just tell them it's sporting equipment. Don't say anything unless they ask. There's a lot of airlines now that don't charge extra for bikes, but there's some that still do. You don't want to get hit with that extra fee by saying, oh, it's sporting equipment. And then they'd be like, well, why are you telling me this when I didn't ask you or anything like that? So don't say anything unless they ask you. And if they ask you, just say it's sporting equipment. And if it's that simple, if they ask more questions, then at that point, you're going to have to figure something out from there. But sporting equipment is the go-to. I've never personally been asked even what's in my bag. As long as it's under the weight that it's supposed to be, that is key here. If your bike is overweight, they might end up asking more questions, but as long as it weighs what it's supposed to, and you don't act weird or anything like that, and you just go along like it's another bag, you will be fine. And that also brings up another topic of, do I need to designate whether or not it's a bike or anything like that? Check the baggage fees for the airline that you're flying with. Sometimes you'll get a bag included, and it's just a standard checked bag, which can be 40 pounds or under or 50 pounds or under. You just got to check with the airline. And if you need it to be under 40 pounds, you can do it. I have done it before. Under 50 pounds is easier, and a lot of airlines do under 50 pounds. So on that note as well, most of your questions will be answered in the frequently asked questions part of their website. People ask questions all the time about bags on airlines, and most of the questions that you have will probably be in there. But if you have any bike specific questions for taking it on an airline, ask them in the comments down below. I hope this helped you out. The pool noodle thing, I feel like, is a total game changer when it comes to flying with your bike, because then you just don't really have to worry about them throwing it around as much. You still might have to worry a little bit because those guys just throw stuff. I'm sure we've all watched them out the window when we take flights. They throw the bags. You don't have to worry about it as much. You get a little bit more peace of mind for like $10, maybe $15 of pool noodles. Even cheaper than that if you buy them in the summer when it's a hot time and they're just on sale or something. So that being said, I hope this helped you out. If it did, and you're new here or you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button down below, and hopefully that will mean we'll see you next time in another video. Thank you for watching. Leave your questions in the comments.